Welcome to another episode of Conversations at Foothills by ISRA.
Pakistan is not just an enigma, it is a country full of potential. And I want to be the ambassador letting people know where we are. We're a victorious Pakistan, we're a new Pakistan, and we're a very centered and focused Pakistan.
Institutions exist, policies exist, talent exists in Pakistan. What we lack is continuity and coherence. If we get that, there is nothing stopping Pakistan.
One of the biggest problems that we are facing is the pie size is the same. The eating hands are increasing. We have to increase the pie size. The only way to go is the knowledge economy.
I think that we need to have a little bit of Durandeshi. So even when we're designing education, it has to be what happens after 4 years when someone has graduated from the market is completely changed.
And you believe in the future that's coming in. The positivity, the technology, the leadership. There is nothing that's going to stop Pakistan from moving forward.
Is a forward-looking direction and not constantly looking back. We shouldn't try to recreate the glory of the 50s or the 60s because that time is gone. If there's one thing that has persevered, it is Pakistan and Pakistanis' will and determination and love for Pakistan.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to another episode of Conversations at Foothills by ISRA. I'm your host Faeza Dawood, and I have with me the cohort from National Security Workshop 27, and we'll be discussing about our experiences and our perspectives that we're taking away from this workshop. So let me introduce you. From my right, we have Yasmin Joined, who's an entrepreneur, and she's also the first female president of the Entrepreneurs Organization. Then we have Mr. Mazhar, who's an entrepreneur. And then we have Rameeza Nizami, who's the owner of Navai Waqt and The Nation. To my left, we have Hassan Shehryar Yassin, who's a national icon. We have Javeria, who is a development practitioner and a member of the World Economic Forum. And then we have, last but not the least, Dr. Zubair Iqbal, who is the Vice Chancellor of Bahauddin Zakaria University. So we'll be talking about experiences and sharing our perspectives. If I can start with you, Yasmin. How did you come to think about wanting to be part of this national security workshop?
Thank you so much, Faeza. So I was somebody who was always interested. As I come from a business family, and there was a lot of talk about the policies are not consistent, and the businesses are not doing well because the government are changing their policies every day. So since childhood, I was I'd been hearing these things around, and at this point in my life, when I thought both my kids are settled, both off to universities, I thought this was my time to sort of come and see where Pakistan is at and how can I understand the business of making policies better, and sort of take that experience back and sort of do something for my own field.
Okay, and I'm going to come back to you and ask you what experiences you're taking back. We're going to come down to our national icon, Mr. Hassan Shehryar Yassin, well known as HSY. HSY, you've constantly reinvented yourself over the decades.
Thank you.
You've been a very prominent and a very popular member of this National Security Workshop 27. You've received a lot of love, and I may add a lot of provincial level love because we have people from all the provinces. So Hassan, what is your takeaway right now? You obviously wanted to be a part of this to understand where Pakistan is heading. I understand that. What are you taking away from here?
It's what I actually brought to the place that I think mattered most to me. I came here with hope and a desire to understand the country that I so firmly and strongly believe in and always have stood by. I think what I'm going back with is not just hope. I'm going back with a firm belief that what I believed in is true. The experiences of traveling in all 4 provinces with my brothers and sisters of those 4 provinces has given me a deeper understanding of the fact that Pakistan isn't truly just a myth that's in my mind. It's an actual breathing identity that I firmly and strongly believe in. But more than that, I'm going back with friendships. I'm going back with experiences. And I'm going back with a strong resolution to make my forever strategy of proudly made in Pakistan. I want to push it further and I want to push it stronger.
I'm going to ask you some more details in a while, but I just want this warm up session to kind of get a feeler of where you guys are, because it is an emotional, bittersweet moment to bid farewell to this NSW. Javeria, you came in with certain perspectives. Have those perspectives changed after attending this national security workshop? Because all of us came in with certain preconceived notions.
I think that one of the things I want to highlight is that national security, we've looked at it in a very broad sense here. We're covering it from all topics, including water, food, energy, then people also. So, somebody who's worked very closely bridging the gap between grassroots communities and policymakers, I think for me, the highlight was sitting in a room with opposing views. Opposing views not just on nationalism, but also on every topic. So I think that that's something I will definitely take away with me. And it'll definitely be something solid that helps me, connect with different topics as we move forward with one.
That is definitely a very broadened perspective where we're dealing with opposing views. Rameeza, you are the owner of a very leading publication. You're on digital media with your presence. These opposing views, often we see polarizing the society. What's your takeaway from this in terms of directing or leading Pakistan media in a direction where we can be truthful and factual, but at the same time not be the cause for rifts?
It's been such a treasured experience to be part of the workshop. And I think it's one of those once in a lifetime opportunities. And I really had no idea that I would learn as much as I did. I had no conception of it. I had heard from people that it's a really, really mind broadening experience, but to go through it myself, I think I've found that there's so much about Pakistan that I don't know, and there's so much that we don't talk about. And the things that make up the bulk of the headlines are not necessarily always covering all of the important issues that we have. And that can be the security of our children and our future generations. So I'm taking back a lot to reflect on, and a lot which I think will inform me and guide me in my work as well.
Very well said. As a media professional, I'd agree with you that there are lots of stories yet to be told, which probably the media is not focusing on, and they need to kind of, have a narrower lens to look at it. Mazhar Saab, please tell me, as an entrepreneur and a very, very seasoned one at that, I'd say, I'd like to add that, please. What kind of business policies or economic policies did you come in thinking that you could probably find an answer to that need to be changed so that Pakistan's economic vision can be at par with the world? Of course, security remains a big concern, but have you found answers to how we can trim, twist, or tweak those fiscal policies?
Thank you, Faeza. I think when I came in, there was a lot of information that I had, perceived information. And when I went through the diversity of the people that we had, the different people who came in, and the thought process that it evoked, it actually reinforced the idea that there is a long way to go. And yet, at the same time, there is a positive energy across the board to make things economically viable. And one of the things that I'm taking back with me is the positivity that I found in the diverse people that we had. We had people from every sphere of life. There was academia, there was politics, there were senators, there were journalists, there were educationalists, everybody. So with this, I found a great opportunity to think in terms of what we have been doing and what we can do in the future.
Thank you so much for adding the note on the fiscal points and on the diversity of people. Doc Saab, one question you've been constantly asking to different stakeholders, and that's regarding education and how to expand our horizons on that. You had written a very interesting article on it. It's about rethinking our education and our policies. Have you found any answers?
Well, so many of them. If you allow me to, I also want to sum up the experiences that I have. It has been a roller coaster ride of love and life, laughters, emotions, empathy, conflict, tolerance, understanding, behaviors, and above all, a camaraderie. That's we all now share here. So, as far as the learning experience is concerned, I think we all are throughout our life when we are growing up, we keep on leaving some vacuums, some hollow places here and there. But with this roller coaster ride that I call it, we have plugged many of them. And these plugs will improve our working, will improve our tolerance towards others, and will also help us understanding the others. As far as education is concerned, sky is the limit. I think we'll come back to the second round.
Okay, all right. Okay, thank you so much for guiding me to that. Hassan, or HSY, if I can call you, because people recognize you as HSY.
By all means.
You have come into this cohort with a vision,
Yes.
and that vision has been about Pakistan, because you talk about Pakistan a lot.
Yes.
You live Pakistan, you breathe Pakistan, and we have seen that.
Very kind of you.
How do you think, as Pakistanis, we can actually build on Pakistan, the Pakistan that Quaid-e-Azam Rahmatullah Alayh gifted us and envisioned? It'd be very difficult to encapsulate, but what would you like to say about that?
Can I tell you to talk about the guide's vision is such a large subject that I would it would shake me to my boots to even try to cover it. It's such an incredible vision. But I believe that my work is here for another reason, which is to take that vision and the narrative of that vision, the narrative of the VC's policy on education, the other boys' background in business, Javeria, and my entire, not just people here, but in my entire class. I believe that what I have to offer is a space of being able to take that message to the world. I'm very lucky that in my career of 32 years, I have shown in 5 continents, over 45 different international cities, and I continue to do so. And that's not saying, wow, HSY is all that. It's just that in our field, we get all that opportunity. This is a great time for me to go back with actual solid information, to go and speak on the behalf of the country, to be able to let them know who we are, where we're going, and what we're all about. Pakistan is not just an enigma, it is a country full of potential. And that potential, what we see in the youth and the youth buzz that we have, and the ability to now understand technology in the way that we are, we're about to go places. And I want to be the ambassador letting people know where we are. We're a victorious Pakistan. We're a new Pakistan. And we're a very centered and focused Pakistan. And I hope that this gives me the opportunity to go and take that message to the world and let them know who we are today.
Definitely victorious Pakistan after Micah Huck this year.
Yeah.
And we've been very privileged, Yasmin, I think, to be able to visit various headquarters and to be able to hear firsthand information and be in places where vital decisions were made in May 2025. Yasmin, as an entrepreneur and an entrepreneur with a vision, allow us to understand that the national security workshop, we've heard constantly that is national security comprises of a lot of elements. Now, security is a very major element, but how big do you think at the end of this workshop, the economic policies, the structures, for SMEs to, big businesses, for entrepreneurs, we've got a big chunk of youngsters interested in entrepreneurship. How much of that is in this country, how much of the economic reliance depends on entrepreneurship at this moment as we speak?
I feel like economic activity is the backbone of your country, and SMEs is one thing that is really close to my heart. And through EO, we have a program called Accelerator where we support startups. And that was my question to a lot of institute where we had gone, governmental institute. And it was nice to know that even in Peshawar, when we spoke to the governor, it was really nice that he mentioned that a lot of things are being done for the entrepreneurs and we can sort of collaborate together. So I see, as Hassan just said, that there is a lot of positivity that I'm taking back with me, that there is work being done on it, but it is still a long way. But I think every one of us here within our own communities are taking back that positivity, which bit by bit, if we continue to sort of take it forth, it will bring about that change. As far as the economic policies are concerned, I want to make a point here. I just realized during this workshop that institutions exist, policies exist. What talent exists in Pakistan. What we lack is continuity and coherence. If we get that, there is nothing stopping Pakistan.
Okay, thank you for those points. Coherency, consistency. We've been talking about continuity of governance, reforms, governments, policies. Very important. Talks about. I'd like to come to you. We've been to Pinstech. We've been to the PF Aeronautical Complex. We saw the cyber hub there, and I saw that you were observing it with great interest. Again, coming back to education and with these visits, because I'll be coming to all of you regarding your favorite visits from this national security workshop. Where do you think Pakistan's, in terms of education, and when we're talking about the digital age, do you think we're lagging far behind? And having visited some of the institutions, or do you think our approach is right and we are dealing with cyber and tech and digital wherever we need to?
Okay, as I borrow the discussion that Yasmin Dadaba was referring to, Pakistan is, for me, is at an inflection point. The momentum is there, the will is there. I think we need to have some kind of sustainability. We do not have that kind of projections in the market. We have a brand issue, perhaps, as HSY might be able to talk more about it. The perception management is more concerned. We are kind of in a habit of bashing our own selves. Let's get out of that. We are something. We are the fifth largest population. We are the only Muslim state with the nuclear power. Our people are working great in banking sector, in aviation, in fintech. Just yesterday, Pakistani Rehan Jalil just got $1.7 billion deal. So there is no stopping us. The point that you are referring to is the technology. Technology does not belong to any particular state or a person or an individual. Technology outgrows everything else. The unfortunate part from our side is that technology always outpaces the policy. We kind of कहते हैं ना race लगी हुई है, we kind of trying to catch it up और इतनी देर में कुछ और हो चुका होता है. And then we have to, that means that we have to invest even more in our education. I think this is the one point, and I often say that if you give 10 years to your education, it will change you everything. I often talk about, and people talk to me that you always talk about the unicorns and the business. Why don't we have the unicorns? We have those brains. Why don't we have those big businesses and the people like them coming into the academia? In the last 20 years or so, most of the unicorns have come off the academia. Why not us? I need to talk to this entrepreneur or this person or this lady or this person. Why we are lagging behind? So here's the key: education, entrepreneurship, and state. We call it a triple helix model.
Okay, the triple helix model. Coming down to you, Rameeza. Tell me about when, being part of this cohort of national security workshop, we have almost 90 participants from various provinces and various professions within Pakistan, some working back and forth abroad. Rameeza, in terms of Pakistan, and when you cover it from the media perspective, I'd like to particularly ask you, seeing this cohort, has it kind of broadened your own vision about Pakistan and how Pakistanis' will to progress is present, but we're just lacking a direction, probably?
I think Pakistani's will is one of the most indestructible things in the world. I think for my organization, I can say that my forefathers started in 1940, and I think will is one thing we have no shortage of. Whether it's been terrible times of terrorism, whether it's been terrible natural catastrophes, whether it's been really difficult economic circumstances, we have always pulled through. I think the will that we have combined with a direction that continues is going to be a winning formula. But I think one of the things that I've learned in the course is that we are a set of contradictions, and we do not, as yet, in any field, have, even in media, I would include it, that I think we need a lot of reflection. We need a lot of reflection on how we are going to chart a direction which is good for Pakistan, good for the economy, and is a forward-looking direction and not constantly looking back. We shouldn't try to recreate the glory of the 50s or the 60s because that time is gone. If there's one thing that has persevered, it is Pakistan and Pakistanis' will and determination and love for Pakistan. And inshallah, with that and with a good set of well-meaning directions put in place, I think we're we will take off so fast.
Definitely a resilient nation who's sometimes caught in survival mode. So, Mazhar Saab, do you see us, picking our heads up with dignity and saying, okay, we're done with the survival mode and we need to thrive now moving forward?
I think we started going into the thrive mode. And like I spoke earlier, within this diversity, we could see a lot of hope. Everybody who's there was talking about Pakistan first. So to me, that is, a lot of encouragement. As an entrepreneur, if you would ask me to invest, I invest in this country. It's not just blood and shed, it's everything
Because you believe in it.
because you believe in it and you believe in the future that's coming in. So I believe that what we have seen in these 5 weeks, the positivity, the technology, the leadership, there is nothing that's going to stop Pakistan from moving forward.
There's a lot of hope, obviously, within the cohort. But Javeria, even with the presentations, when we saw, the young leaders panel leading a discussion on youth, and we know Pakistan has one of the largest bulges of the youth population. I would talk to you as a young leader as well. Uh, do you think the Pakistani youth stands disenfranchised? We talk about brain drain. I know there are loads of perspective to it, but after this workshop, do you think it's helped you probably rethink that perspective?
Faeza, the reality does remain there, right? There are challenges, there is brain drain, there's a lot of ambition, aspiration in moving abroad to better opportunities. But at the same time, we don't see a shortage of opportunities within the Pakistan landscape, whether that is from the business community, or that's education, or that is emerging frontier technologies like AI. So while youth bulge is or moving abroad is a vulnerability, it's also a big opportunity. One thing that I've realized again and again, and it's been reflected on during the workshop and even in our domains, is that there's a lot of passion with which there's this a consistent drive. So even if somebody moves abroad, they have a connection. And earlier Yasmin mentioned continuity and coherent in policy. I'd like to add another thing, which is foresight. I think that we need to have a little bit of Durandeshi, and we need to have that Durandeshi in the broader sense. So to think that here are the regional trends, here are the global trends, this is going to happen in few years. So even when we're designing education, it has to be what happens after 4 years when someone is graduated from the market is completely changed. So what I see in all of the, visits that we have, whether it was NDMA with really high-tech, real-time information for decision making. Then we went to Gwadar, where there's a lot of development work. So when you kind of superimpose all of these things that are already at play, you see that I don't see brain drain as a problem. It's also can be referred as a gain. Where there's information sharing, there are people coming, and there's a lot of access from national to global. So for me, I don't think that that's can necessarily be looked at something that's missing. Rather, we're seeing more and more business opportunities, whether that's in food security, food systems. We have some people from food space within our cohort, and the way that they are connected with the global markets. That's the way that I would sort of look at it.
So when we're talking about, people moving abroad, and when we talk about representing Pakistan, all of us are Pakistan's ambassadors globally. It's just why you have been Pakistan's ambassador for eons, if I may add. And all of us are in our own respective right, but you've been on international magazines, you've been on international publications, and a lot of people who may not know, you have spoken about Pakistan and about empowering women, and you've spoken about Pakistan. You've represented Pakistan on international forums, not just in the design and fashion context, but Pakistan as the country. Um, where do you think Pakistan is lacking in projecting the real cultural heritage or the real essence of our people that we have been able to kind of, understand and feel during this trip? Or do you think it's not lacking at all, or maybe it's just people who are taking it forward are probably lacking the vision?
I think there's a lack of clarity in our narrative. And I think that's where we've gone wrong.
Waiting for that.
There needs to be a far more concise, coherent narrative put out. The narrative is there. It's not that it isn't. It's not that people don't take ownership of it. They do, because Pakistan doesn't lack that. It doesn't lack ownership, but it lacks clarity in its narrative. And I think that's incredibly important to focus on. Secondly, I also think that it needs new ambassadors to speak on behalf of Pakistan. Pakistan is no longer um, in the vision of the world or in my own vision, the same Pakistan I left back before May. It's a different Pakistan. It's a Pakistan that demands a lot more attention, respect, and command, and it should be spoken up in the same way. The new ambassador should speak of that clarity, speak of that vision, speak of that economic prosperity that is around the corner. And over youth mulch, again, I mentioned that over and over again because I'm a big believer that that is the real source of progress for Pakistan, is about to take root into creating new economic spaces, new international frontiers for Pakistan, and new achievements. There hasn't been anything that Pakistani youth has not touched that hasn't turned into gold. I speak of it with great experience and a lived experience. I believe that now is the time and we now need clarity in our narrative and new ambassadors taking our word forward.
So we need to just harness this wave that we're riding on and take it in a more stronger, positive direction forward. Doc Saab, if you were to look at the various places that we've been to, I'd like to come down to our visits as well. What has been your favorite? Has it been Pinstick? Has it been the PN Dockyard? Has it been Gavadir? What has been your most favorite place or the one that holds the most favorite memory for
No,
you?
my most favorite was NASTP, where the knowledge was meeting creativity, and creativity was meeting passion, and passion was meeting money making. You see, I often keep referring to that in one of the American president's campaigns. They said that its economy is stupid, so try your comma wherever you want to put it. At the end of the day, it is economy. So unfortunately, one of the biggest problems that we are facing is the pie size is the same. The eating hands are increasing. We have to increase the pie size. And the only way to go is the knowledge economy. We perhaps we are lacking industrialization. Our farmers are doing good to feed us. But if we want to have a leapfrog, a bigger jump, then we have to have those bigger items along with that brand that HSY was referring to. Thank you very much, sir, for giving this to me. That brand, that the confidence should be there. The people are confident to buy not only the human resource of Pakistan, but the products of Pakistan, the services of Pakistan, the individuals and the intellect of the Pakistan. That is where we are. And again, borrowing from, I keep on borrowing, by the way, Rameeza, that you cannot keep driving constantly looking at the back view mirror. This is the very unfortunate part. अगर आप अलाउ करें तो मुश्ताक यूसुफी ने बड़ी अच्छी बात कही कि जितनी हम मेहनत मुसलमान बच्चों को मुसलमान साइंसदानों के कारनामे रटवाने में करते हैं, उससे आधा भी मुसलमान बच्चों को साइंस पढ़ाने में लगा दें ना, तो हमारे मसाइल बहुत हद तक हल हो सकते हैं. So let's get out of the past. Gone is gone. The new page that we have turned after this May events, this has given us a new glory. हमारे एक उस्ताद कहा करते थे कि यार ये तुम सारे चमकदार लोग हो, लेकिन मुख्तलिफ लेवल पर तुम पे तहें चढ़ी हुई हैं. लेट्स उनको खुरचे और वो चमक नीचे से आएगी, and then go out as one Pakistani ambassador with the brand and the people like we have in every walk of life.
Yeah. I'm glad you've been borrowing from, the different thought processes because I
I'm a
think
poor guy.
no, I think no, I think it enriches one. And
I'm learning.
It enriches one, and I think if learning stops, then we're basically not breathing anymore. But I think we've all been borrowing and learning from each other's experiences, and it's broadened our perspectives. I'd like to ask all of you one by one what your favorite visits have been, and if you could quickly reflect on that, starting from Rameeza.
I think my favorite was Nilor. There was just something very magical about the place. It was the architecture. It was always also the fact that not many people get to go there. It was also the fact that maybe it has been taken care of so well that it was unusual to see anywhere else in Pakistan. That was my favorite.
And just to add to that, to see female women scientists over there answering a chunk of our questions. What about you, Mazhar Saab?
I think I can't say there was one favorite for me. I got a high in different places because visiting those locations, it made you feel proud.
I'd like you to name at least one or two, please.
We went to the Air Force. It was wonderful. It was, you felt so proud. Like Hassan said, you went to GHQ. You know what clear thinking is coming out. There's clarity, and that clarity gives us hope. In the same way, we went into the different rooms that, the different areas that we went within the army. It gives us that pleasure that we are well taken care of. That gives us positivity. We talk about a vision or we talk about May. I think we went through that glory of May of what had happened in the past in all these institutions. It's been there. It's just not been brought out. It was May that just brought it out. And now we are on that springboard where we need to take this forward in our different aspects of life.
What about you, Yasmin?
I'll borrow from.
We did a lot of borrowing today.
Yeah. So I loved all my visits at the armed forces for two reasons. They were places that not everybody gets to go, and I felt very privileged. The way we were taken care of, explained, the articulation with which and the confidence with which they spoke just made me feel so proud, so confident that, you know what, we worry, but then there is somebody who's going to just put it right.
And we have people who have it all together. Hassan, what about you? I'd like to come to all three of you as well. Your favorite places, 1, 2, 3.
Thank you. I'm going to borrow from the VC as well, and since we're in the business of borrowing, and no one better to borrow than the VC. I'd like to speak of the future. For me, I was looking for Pakistan in the future, not Pakistan in the past. That I was completely blown away with was Quaid. If blue economy looks like that, then sign me up. I have never seen anything more beautiful, and I'm so excited for the prospects of what it brings.
And just landing at the Gwadar International Airport, it made us all quite emotional, didn't it?
Absolutely.
And the blue waters there were just pristine. What about you, Javeria?
Tough to pick one, but I have to say I found myself to be very, very impressed with NDMA. I think the moment we entered that space with all of that massive 360 real-time data, and then all the linkages of that data to say that, we have 8 months in advance warnings and preparedness. So I think that not only was it very impressive, but then the impact of that information being utilized correctly and timely can be a lot for Pakistan for the future. Any catastrophes, which will come, climate change is real. So I thought that was very, very impressive, and it made me very happy that we have that kind of technology, we have that kind of data, and then we have that kind of data reading, data-informed decision making, and then we have the foresight.
Okay, Doc Sab has already added. If I may also add, I think for me, Mazhar was a very, very emotional, especially when we went down. We were also taking pictures. It was a very emotional moment. And just being there and trying to understand, why we've been gifted Pakistan and how we can contribute, just reflecting how we can contribute. And Gwadar was just an eye-opener. It was a bittersweet moment where, you know that you've got potential, where we have it and we just need to harness it and just take it on. So inshallah, I'd also like to, before closing or at the end of closing, I'd like all of you, since you've all been wonderful cohort members and we've had a lot of fun. We don't have the rest of the 80 odd people with us, but it's been an immense, wonderful learning journey through our coaster rides, through our C-130s, the laughters shared, the food shared. Rameeza, if I can start with you, if you can briefly sum up your experiences, mostly good and positive from National Security Workshop, and what would you like to leave the people with? Why should a Pakistani in a position of power, leadership, a learning student, why should they consider, and I'm talking about MPhils or PhD students, why should they consider coming or attending the National Security Workshop? And that would be the question to all of you.
I think it's a very exclusive set of people who get to come. I think I feel very privileged, very lucky to be part of the 27th NSW. I think anyone who has an opportunity to attend has the opportunity to meet at least 100 people who they would never have otherwise known, who will become lifelong friends. You will have friends in every province. You will know every industry. You will know people from government, from bureaucracy, and you will understand the work that they do and the challenges that they face. And the fact that everyone is putting their best in. There are places where we have a lot of difficulties and we all have to unravel them together. There's no magic pill. There's no secret winning solution that is stored somewhere in the NSW. That's what we come here to find out, that we are the solution. So we have to do it together.
Oh, wonderfully said. We are the solution. Mazhar Saab?
I think if I was to reflect back, what NSW does is give you an enabling platform. brings in people from all forms. First week, everybody's, tied up and in their own corners with people they know more comfortable. But as time goes, you get to know each other, you get to have an idea what the other person's all about, and those guards start going down. And the moment those guards start going down, comes the diversity, the beauty of diversity, the beauty of creativity, and then the difference in opinions. This is one platform where the discussions we had were very candid by the speakers or by the participants. We were able to criticize, we were able to think. So, that thought processing, to me, uh, that third dimension, which we do not normally get in our spheres of lives, in our daily lives, it gives you that input in a very neutral manner how to think and how to look at things from a different perspective.
And one has to sift through
So,
it. Right?
I think the line we have is beyond perceptions. It's actually true. That's what it does.
So, from beyond perceptions, Yasmin, what message would you give to somebody?
I'd
Why
like
should they come to the National Security Workshop?
I would highly recommend it to everybody because it's a unique experience. And, if I have to really sum it up, it was enriching for me. And it is the process where you'll come, understand, learn, and grow.
Can I just add, I was thinking today, maybe I should come in for the NSW 30.
NSW 30, okay.
Myself.
Okay, so after 3 years. So, an alumni coming back to another. What about you, Hassan?
I wish I had something more that was powerful to say, because I believe my three friends have spoken about it so powerfully. It is all that they've said and more. I believe, from an emotional perspective, that we are born to a family, and you know them, you have them, you sometimes like them and sometimes don't like them,
Sometimes you've got to put up with them.
but you're privileged and honored to be a part of them. I believe I'm walking away with a new family. My new NSW family are people I'm privileged and honored to know. I love them. I sometimes don't like them. I sometimes admire them, and I sometimes don't understand what they're saying, but I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I want to know more about them. I want to get to know them. And in doing so, I feel I want to get to know more about my Pakistan.
And I'm so glad you said that, because that has been the feeling I think most of us are taking away. There have been times where we probably were not on the same page, especially during our presentations and different group activities, but we've been there for each other. And the feeling is one of, it's one of warmth.
I think I don't know about everyone else. I had tears in my eyes today. I had tears in my eyes as I was leaving, and I never thought that that would happen. When I came here the first day, I felt like I may be the odd one out. There were people with great intellect and have great achievements to them, to their credit. But today, I didn't see them. I only saw my friends. I saw people I love, and some people that I will forever cherish. And I don't think you can get that anywhere. For anyone watching, if you have the opportunity, you can make this happen for yourself. Please don't say no. Put that 5 weeks away for yourself and do this, if not for the country, but for yourself. Absolutely.
Hassan, just to add to that, each person is an accomplished individual and you are a national icon. So I think it's been a privilege and an honor for all of us to have you and to also learn from your experiences of representing the country on global scales. Each one of us does, but you've been doing it through the decades consistently. Javeria, why should anybody in Pakistan or anybody in a leadership position attend the National Security Workshop?
I think we all have our stories, then we all have perceptions and perspectives, and then we've had opportunities throughout our life to engage with different segments of society, larger, smaller. But what I felt was that this space, and what a privilege it has been to know all of you and be in sharing this space with everybody, you kind of get to see the connections of the stories and what the larger picture is. Because I may have missed out on certain perspectives from people that I have not had the pleasure of engaging with before. So now I know that somebody from XYZ has this kind of a view because they have this impression or this is missing. So I think that I'm walking away with, and with much reflection yet to be done, but I am walking away with a slightly bigger picture and a better blueprint as to what things look like. Highly recommended. Come with an open mind. Be a good listener. and sort of be open in relationships and ideas and perspectives.
And
So
there's
highly
ample room for
recommend.
expressing yourself, for being
Absolutely.
critical.
Yeah.
Doc Sab, how would you, as an academician, see the National Security Workshop? Obviously, you've been looking at it very critically as well. Critically means with detail. So, why should somebody be coming to the National Security Workshop?
Well, they've taken all the words. Again, I'm at the last one, but this time I'm not going to borrow anybody. This time I'm just telling
Can
my
I
story.
lend?
Yes.
I've learned Punjabi. So that is one advantage.
Okay. So when I say that this is an experience, you have to live it. I cannot describe it. I cannot define it. I cannot delineate it. You have to come and live it. And this is such an unforgettable experience that that keep coming back to you. And since we are about to close this session, so this is our penultimate day, and tomorrow is the final day here. So मैं सबको एक डेडिकेट करना चाहूँगा आखिर में जो रिवायत है शेर पढ़ने की कि बिछड़ गए तो ये दिल उम्र भर लगेगा नहीं बिछड़ गए तो ये दिल उम्र भर लगेगा नहीं लगेगा लगने लगा है मगर लगेगा नहीं वाह
Wow, thank you so much, Doc Sab. I will be borrowing from all of my new family's comments, where we're looking at policies that they need to be consistent. We need continuity in reforms and governance, and the discussion keeps going on. We are all, I think, I speak on behalf of everybody. We're going back with a lot of hope in our institutions, in our people, in our youth, and in our vision. And like most of them have reflected, we've had the opportunity, the privilege, and the honor of going to some of the most important institutions in the world, and in Pakistan, who are not only responsible for security in Pakistan, but who are also looking at the geostrategic sensitivity of Pakistan. And Pakistan's security remains the number one priority for our institutions. But at the same time, we've got to keep moving our economic, our education, our health barometers so that we can keep progressing our nation. But with this new family, a cohort of more than 85 plus people, National Security Workshop has been an enriching, enabling experience, like my friends have said over here. And you need to live it, as they've said. It's 5 weeks. It looks like a long time, but trust me, after the first week, it just starts rollerballing, and you don't know, and you're at the end of it, and it's a bittersweet moment because the C-130 rides end, the coaster rides end, the everyday dinners and luncheons end, and then we have this alumni who can stay connected, and our focus is very sharp. Our focus is Pakistan and what we can each bring for Pakistan. Like one of our members said, we are the solution. We've got to stop looking outside, and we've got to look within ourselves and within our country, because when we realize we are the solution, we can help Pakistan be the vision that Quaid-e-Azam Rahmatullah Alayh and Allama Iqbal Rahmatullah Alayh saw it to be. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us for this episode. Take good care. Allah Hafiz.